Kumar, and I am the accountant here at Lomara Associates. So I feel that the online portal system is quite safe because every time representative as the employer, when I try and log into the portal, it sends an automatic email notification to my email because I'm the representative here. But at the same time, whenever we go and pay at the Fnpf counter, like I do over counter payments, so as soon as the payment is made, an email notification comes, and I think that is a added security feature that is in place, and it makes us as employers feel quite safe as a user. Thank you.
Bula, my name is Safaira Loloma. I look after the employers portal for Fnpf for Sea Life Investment Pte Limited. It's very user friendly, very easy to use. Every aspects of the employees that you have to enter and input, it's very easy to do. You can teach. It's very easy to grasp the concepts and of what to do and what to search for. Especially because manually, most of the time you lose the paperwork or it gets wet or it's misplaced. Unlike when it's online, everything's there in order and in the sense like by monthly and on the dates and what you input and even the changes that you make, it's all there. Even for the past year, because I wanted to check on some of the, like for last year's, it's all there, how much I paid, and it's all there. I just enter the date and it's there, or the year that is required. I'd like to thank Fnpf for all the initiative they've taken in making work easier for us employees. We just have about 20 employees that have Fnpf deductions. And it's quite easy. I can imagine for companies that have a very big number. So you having everything online and everything's there, it just makes work very easy.
My name is Ndivuki Silutolu. I currently work at the Center for Appropriate Technology and Development, CATD for short. And I work in the administration department, specifically in finance. So dealing with payments and some compliance, a lot of compliance. Well, I'd like to thank them for making these changes, whether they did the consultation to get this done. But for me, this is evidence that Fnpf is listening to its users and to the employers that are using the portal and making it much easier for us to comply and to lodge our CS and our contributions on a timely basis. I understand that previously there was a lot more difficulty making the transition from the manual contributions and then to the first portal and to this one, comparing all other employees to use the portal. It makes work a lot easier. You can do it remotely. You don't have to personally go to Fnpf to lodge your contributions. You can do it from wherever you are, provided you've got a strong internet connection. So yes, I would definitely encourage employers to do this. It's mandatory for all of us registered employers to do it. So again, I encourage them to do this. And it saves not just institutions like CATD, but all employers. It saves you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of going back and forth with Fnpf, especially if you have a long list of contributions that are not loaded. This portal helps you get that done on a timely basis, avoids unnecessary late penalties that need to be paid, and I find that Fnpf is becoming more strict with the penalties. So yes, I definitely encourage employers to use the portal. It makes it a lot easier to do business, to run institutions, and to remain compliant with the current legislation.
I'm Rakshana Rushikachan and I work for Rosie Hart Investment Pte Limited as an accounts and HR. For me, the new portal is so easy. With new features, I find my work very easy. As soon as I log into the portal, the only thing I have to do is just upload my employer CS file, and there's only few changes, and it just takes me 5 to 10 minutes to upload the Fnpf for 77 employees. Thank you for Fnpf for doing the great job. You make my work easy for other companies too. I love this portal, it's so great, and online payment is so easy and we don't have to wait in the queue. Thank you Fnpf, you did a great job.
Saya bagi orang sangat muka dia.
Pinaka na edango nero ni tambakau ngole sarati ko may nambotoni tombay na teobe na korona sino au wawa tinga may na korongo yeroi.
Ayo kamu tengok lagi na kamu di Basili weh, kau nak Basili kan Basili Makau, kau nak sabu Fijian Bus Company. Ya, Fijian Bus Company, pemarala kina, membuli kina, kalau membuli kau ngali buli balain FNTC, karena Fijian National Technical Sangon orang kata. Sanggi mi, pura di lokal banyak bahasa, ubai bola kina, nakan ni diesel, kina kan ni welding. Uji ungan saya menelongong, ubi cukup lagi. Sanggai dia ngurutun reba ni baru sana, tak kau reba provincial council. Kurtun reba, tu sangai mikirnya bukan reba itu. Kau nanti aku mikir reba itu na 1995. 95 aku pun reba na orang sana. Tapi tu untuk lah balik wau gitu, penuh lewu, kontrove ini. Tu ni kan abis batu rang, kan tu batu ngoisuba. Kau ngai mikir aku kaya na undul, tin keruh.
Yang gay nguna ngay sabade ko kina. Sali terai may nanonay labo ko samba wo sanggay may wale buta ko na nito wale may anga kina nanonay labo wa toso ina ito wale ado saranga na wale sili wale po na wale kurna poch kere me wade mutale tumoya o wana venga ragwi veira na ngoner sa kakatumo
Au kalau aku kan, naunnya sa, na musik sebenarnya lewu, ini nak betul ni cawai. Kau ratio sangi bawati sangi lebih tolong lo ngone, tu musik ini mana ngone.
Indo na kau maruta kondo vito ko ni bale mo pananono da kazaka. Indo kena karua na non rahuli na ngone. Ngone rasali second rikina. Sandaula ko sarati ko ngamay na nito ilabon ni nanon ilabon ni Provident Fund wana non rahuli ng ngoner
Kat nung kani Fnpf sana, kau bang atas itu. Mereka sekarang itu asal buli nasi, tum sorong na buli. Kani labo ni musuh. Sandaula sangi nogumbui li valani, kona kata kona rudu sungas kona kegi. Iya. Orang orang Fnpf, na utara wala kini mo me, kau mahulo tu lebih wan raw. Ele tu no lori chelo sini via lori pakam bisnis betul pula ni na gas mai na lusina kau sange mai terang bi saya makan buat tu pula makan tu tar tu buat bisa miwa huta dua butir kau itu betul kau sarai dan makan lah di sini maru ni lah betul nangon galau tu nangon pas nangon nana kan enda pas sam kena mati kena lau tadi sini mata orang awak kan orang kata na termasuk oke yang gay sadi mo nakada and lagi mi la so le weekend lagi mi nakabaga usah tu mo na mo mi tu mari la
Salamiata Movunga is a pensioner. After 20 years in the tourism industry, she retired in 2013. Together with her late husband, Mr. Melissa Lele, they returned to Loloi Tavioni to make their retirement an enjoyable one. Their tenacious spirit brought about much needed change in their community. This is their story.
O ia una ngauno sa taurakina nongo penseni na wakanana nua taraia una ngaunea e na yato na ngauna au na lesunga mai nandele ningele sangai wakaya walatiau na wakasama ya meu taurana nongo penseni baleta ni kero na wakavengu mai na dakadaka kero na mai bula kawanga takatiko kina na nero iau wakailavo e nandela ni soso e na singalevunikua kera we ruoti kona nero vale mata nero vale chigongo kene karuango kero sanga ila mai kero volia mai nero motoka volia talanga me nero fiber ya naka kero angai mai vaka kero tiko kina ni kero sanda miti kona ndele ni sosongo eloloi kero vangata kana ilaboya baleta na nero vale kero somo bakandua kina nero vale mai suwa ko saranga ya naka kero angai vole mai me kero toso mai kina kero mole mai taveuni e manda ndo naka e vinaka e kauta mai weekend na ya lombole minda garabo kina no ndai tavi nakao e ko vinaka tamandanga e rawa ke vakai tiko na num bisinisi e rawa ke wakai tiko na kau ko lalawataka e rawa e na buku ni Provident Fund na kai wakadora tiko e na ngau na kero sa lau mai kina me kero mai nda me nandela ni sosongo e na kau raida e rata mata e rangole mai e ramai kaya wakasaba tiko na ilago noa kero kaya senga e totoka na Provident Fund balete mai wakatoro taketaka na ka kero vina kata e nandela ni soso iloloi e ana ka kero raida rawa kero ngai mindambi kero ngai dakawa na liva waka kina na ngauni salango e ana ka kero sulia kina na nero ia o mai na Provident Fund me rawani tiko kina na tiko ngo e lului au wabina kata na wakasa mangore baleta ni usaraida na kenatina ni kakeve e rawa tiko ngo e rawa tiko na buni i penseni na kakeve rawa e kakeve tau doko ke wakawalenga kenda yalo matua mindanga rawa wakabinaka wakantondono na nonde itabek e na rawa na katau doko kau tiko nda tumu bata nda yalo matua nda rawa bata na itabe kila wiko na senga wakanduani wakadawoda nda toso ikenda menda yalo matua taka na kena wakadurumi na iau na ilavo menda rawa takina na beka e lalawa takitu satu mona garaba ena besinga satu e matamu ena buku ni nondambula tiko na besinga ko ya boleh tiko kina na longo na singa libubi na kanikua
From Indinadeva village on Benga Island to the Public Service Commission, Mr. Chale Kunawalu lived a life committed to serving his beloved Fiji, giving more than 3 decades of his life to this calling. In his storied career in the civil service, he has traveled the world, and as a member of the Fiji National Provident Fund, he used
Bulvinaka, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 4th annual member forum here for the financial year 2023 at Nausori village. Before we begin, we also acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of this land that we are on, and acknowledge the elders past, present, and emerging. We are also happy to be here. It's our first time here in this hall, so thank you as well. My name is Sitiveni Nambuka, and I will be our moderator this afternoon. We also have members that are streaming online, so we're both online and live on both Facebook and YouTube. So if you have any problems on YouTube, please go to Facebook, or Facebook, go to YouTube. Thank you again for joining us this evening. So why do we have the member forum? We have these sessions such as is the member forum to allow members of the fund to hear directly from the CEO and the executives on how the Fnpf has been performing through the year. You also have this unique opportunity to engage with them and ask them questions directly, and you will get the answers that are in fact the official answers instead of the answers you may hear on the streets or around the Tanoa. So that's why we have this member forum. Very shortly, we will invite our CEO, Mr. William Ivalo, to take us through his presentation. But before that, a few housekeeping matters, please. So you would have registered as you entered with the QR code. So if you have not registered, please do register in the table out there. There's a simple QR code there that eases registration. You should have also received an information pack. That's this, and inside you should have two newsletters and a summary of this annual report. It's important that you have this because this will form the basis of today's discussions, but also it gives you the details of how the fund has performed in the financial year. You would also request for your feedback after the forum, so please do help us with that. You would have received the ticket. I hope you would have received the ticket after your registration was confirmed, and this is to help at the end of the session. If you've not been to this hall, so the washrooms, you'd have to go around my left at the back there for the ladies, and around at the back on this side for the gents. Because we are live streaming, if you are crossing, please take note of the cameras so that it's not fully focused on you. We also humbly ask if you could either turn your phones on vibrator mode or switch them off. Vinaka. Before we invite CEO, I'd like humbly ask that if we can commit this time to the Lord in prayer. Let us please pray. Father, we thank you for this time that we have to be able to gather together and to hear, Father, about how you have led us, how you've blessed us, and how your servants that you have anointed, Father, have led the fund. We pray for the session today. We pray for our members and pensioners and all those that are still on their way. We ask for their protection. We pray, Father, for the session that we will have today, that we may be able to understand clearly what is being presented and that it would be conducted in a manner that is respectful. Please lead us and guide us, cover us with your precious blood. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. We now invite our CEO to deliver his presentation. Inaka.
O Osaka, tō manda o via taura angona vinaka o ngō, me o wakara vinaka, wana ngoni turanga na tui Nausori, kena vei matambure waka turanga na mundu ndale niabu waka turanga. Ka lewu na wakara vinaka na ilabu musuki, ke ira na lewa na e wana rau nondolu na tamata tambuyani. Na nondolu masoli me ke tō mai waka adlombo se na mundu ndale soso waka turanga. Ina saka waka lewu na Vidingomi Kenalvinaka. Bulavinaka, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of Fnpf, pensioners and employers. I'm humble and grateful for this opportunity to stand before you this evening to open the Members Forum. It has been a few years since we have been back here in Nausori, and I can assure you certainly won't be the last. I would also like to acknowledge those of you joining us through live stream on Fnpf Facebook page and the Fnpf YouTube account. Thank you for taking the time to join us and giving us the opportunity to present to you our annual report for 2023 financial year. Once again, welcome to the Fnpf Annual Members Forum. Over the next few minutes, I will share our performance highlight for the 2023 financial year. This includes our financial performance, our investment, the return earned, and what we paid to our members in terms of interest. I will also share some of the achievements of our plan for the future. With the upswing in economic activity, we remain resolute in our focus to recover the lost ground, and I'm pleased to report solid return to our members. Our total asset has grown to 9.5 billion, an increase from 8.7 billion in 2022 financial year. Members' fund increased by 521.7 million to 7.2 billion, and is a result of a strong financial and operation performance. I'd also like to mention that members' average medium balance have increased, that supports our commitment to ensuring a financial secure future in the retirement of our members. The general reserve was 1.8 billion, is made up of a solvent reserve, which is required by law, and and also the investment reserve. Net income was 775.8 million, which achieved above our targets, especially against a subdued environment. This income allowed us to declare an interest crediting rate of 7%, and we've paid out 457.6 million to members. We collected 541.5 million in contribution. We also recorded a positive net contribution of 100.3 million after 2 years of negative net contribution, and we expect things to keep going up from here. Our investment portfolio increased to 9.4 billion at the end of 2023. Our portfolio is made up of fixed income, followed closely by our equity investment, commercial lending, cash and deposit, and our properties. The fixed income portfolio, which include bonds, continues to be the backbone of our overall investment portfolio. As we said in the past, bond continues to be an excellent long-term investment option offering attractive return which members benefit through the interest credited to their account every year. The equity portfolio shows a remarkable growth with impressive performance in sectors providing enhanced dividend both domestic and internationally. Our commercial lending portfolio, total income for the year of 61.3 million compared to 59.8 million in 2022. New investment was approved in sectors such as tourism and food manufacturing. We also established partnership with the commercial bank through syndicate lending opportunity, in particular telecommunication sector. Our cash holding on cash deposit total 640 million, a decrease of 646.9. These are the funds that we owe with all the banks in Fiji. Our property portfolio is made up of a good range of commercial estate, including retail sectors. We now have about 27 property, including Garden City, which we acquire in this current financial year. So the portfolio includes 20 properties that were leased to retail and office use, 6 vacant land parcels that the land bank and other potential for future development. I want to expand on our net assets shown on this graph, which basically shows the growth path over the last 10 years from 2014 to 2023. You note that it's been trending upward, but dip in 2020 when COVID-19 hit, and following year in 1921, it picks up again. The net asset available for allocation is an amount left after deducting our expense and our net income. I've mentioned that net income was 775.8 million. We've deducted our expense, which was 54.9 million, with an amount left of 721.7 million. From this amount, we then determine the credit interest rate and the amount we can pay to our members. Here's the return on investment again, another reflection of performance of our investment. A net return of 8.29 million was achieved in 2023. Our strategy is to prioritize the diversification of our investment portfolio, and we have achieved a commendable return as a result. We'd like for our member to know this financial achievement because it reinforces our fund's robust financial position at the end of the day. It should also reassure our member that the savings are not only growing, but it's also safe. These numbers are a simple snapshot of what we have achieved for our members and also shows key shift in our membership and benefit payment. The 7% credited rate in the highest over the last 24 years. We've paid about 2 billion in interest to member over the last 6 years. Our membership continue to grow and we continue to pay our members benefit as when required. On our membership, we've grown to 400,865. Contributing compulsory members makes up 63% of the total membership count, while contributing voluntary members makes up 49% of the total voluntary membership. Contributing members refer to those members who made at least one contribution payment to their account in the last financial year. What is interesting to note is the share of wealth by gender. Although female makes up 53% of our total membership, their share of wealth is only 35%. Male makes up 57% of our membership, but their shares of wealth is 65%. While we have been improvement over the years, this number reflects the trend that less women are in formal employment and work in the informal sector when compared to men. I've mentioned that our withdrawal dropped by 6%. A total of 441 million was paid to 52,375 members. Full withdrawal total 329.8 million. Of this amount, 189.7 million was for retirement. Interestingly, there is an increase in migration withdrawal to 83.8 million. In 2022, we paid out 42.9 million. The increase in migration withdrawal basically shows the movement of our people abroad. Our pensioners total 7,948 members. When categorized, the highest number of pensioners are between the age of 65 and 74 years. Our pension center serves 17,876 members, an increase of 48% when compared to 2022 financial year. And just earlier this year, the fund facilitated a pension top-up for a certain number of pensioners whose pension was affected during the reform. Government have announced the top-up during the national budget address last year. We have facilitated and will continue to administer the payment which are funded by government. I'd like to take this time to talk a bit about the positive outcome of our pension reform. In the lead-up to 2011, both the pension business and the death benefit business operate from the same balance sheet. The pension buffer reserve from the asset backing the pension for the pension business. Excess reserve were insufficient for the solvency buffer for members' liability. The gap between the pension buffer fund reserve and pension liability was ever widening. There was a need to reform the pension business before members' liability would have been wiped out. The changeover in the new scheme was with the reform option adopted. Dramatic increase in assets were reflective of the reform option adopted. We transfer high-earning government bonds to the retirement income to support our obligation to the pensioners for those that opted back into the new scheme. Liability dropped as pension payments were reduced, and not all pension bought back into the new scheme. These have been the effect of taking liability off the balance sheet. Development of solvency reserve or operational risk for post-2011, the board need to ensure that it can meet at all times its liability, including its liability to pay life pension. In 2016, the actuary determined that solvency reserve were to be established to ensure liabilities can be met in the event of mortality experience. The pensioners be longer than expected. On employers, the fund registered 815 employers, taking the count of active employees up to 8,648. Active employers refer to those that paid a minimum of one contribution during the financial year. We have enhanced the employers portal and improved on our internal processes as part of our broader effort to add value to our partnership with employers. Our team conducted awareness session to update our employers on their responsibility and compliance issue. A total of 8,834 employers were visited. On our new board members, there were changes to our board directors during the year. We welcome Mr. Choeli Weta Tawoi, Mr. Atar Singh, and Mr. Adish Naidu, who brings with them invaluable experience. They replace Mr. Sanjay Kaba, Mrs. Kalpana Lal, and Mr. Joel Ibrahim. It has always been important for the board to remain a strategic governing body that advise and challenge management team to guide Fnpf into the future. Our current board members in 2023 include Mr. Patel, who was appointed chair in January this year, reappointed chair in January this year, and the other two directors are Mr. Mukta Ali and Mr. Siri Gaunda. As I've stated in previous slide, we are indeed proud of our success, but at the same time, we continue to explore and capitalize on available avenues to ensure that we grow the member saving. On contribution rate, the restoration of the mandatory contribution rate to the pre-COVID rate of 18% was announced in the national budget in June of last year and effective from January this year. We are grateful that government have supportive of our effort to revise the contribution rate to what it was before the global health pandemic. We expect this to be boosted to boost members' fund. We have actively seek opportunity to enhance the value we provide to our members. Part of this includes increasing the understanding of their retirement saving and how we can plan better for the life on retirement. We have a members advocacy team that engage directly with members in workforces and community. Our goal is to ensure a greater awareness among our people about the importance of Fnpf saving. We have activated the email and short messaging service to notify members when the contribution is paid to their account. We have received a lot of positive feedbacks regarding this initiative, with members being reassured of the contribution have been paid on time. One of our key activities was to increase our engagement or interaction with our members. This statistic shows the different platforms that our members use to access our service. I must say that one of the positive changes that followed the global pandemic that it forces us to use the digital platform that are available to us. For our team, it meant enhancing the existing platform to be responsive to our members and employers' need. The drawdown account, or DDA, was launched in January, one of our new products for retirements, for retirees, providing with our members with another retirement option plan. It has a take-up rate of 4.2% in the first 6 months of performance, surpassing our other retirement products. The DDA is an interest-earning account allowing members to receive monthly income and to also withdraw once a year. There has been a lot of progress in terms of our digital transformation, particularly with our operation, processing, and on strategies. We continue to look to opportunity to enhance our digital platform so that adds value to our members and employees' experience. Our mobile application, the My Fnpf app, now features integration with Visa, MasterCard, M-Pesa, and BSP EasyCard. This improvement grants members the freedom to handle funds with a preferred payment method from any location at any time. This is part of our strategy to offer a more convenient, efficient, and secure approach to financial management. We've also enhanced the employers portal, which features like employers, members registration, automated compliance letter, third-party validation, and online payment, and DPO visibility. This effectively simplified administrative tasks for employers. Of the 10,108 employers registered on the portal, 99% uses the portal to conduct the Fnpf business. On our investment focus, it's about sustainable, responsible investment that generate return for the fund today and in the long term. Our strategy is centered on diversity, ESG, and national development. Apart from our investment performance highlighted earlier, I'd like to share projects that are ongoing. The Westin Resort Guest Room block renovation are on track for Fletcher Construction as a main contractor for both the guest room and roofing. We have revised the Westin refurbishment expected to take another 18 to 24 months, targeting the completion on the third quarter of 2024. Grand Pacific Hotel will be rebranded to Intercontinental brand under the IHG portfolio. The building contractor for the mock-up room is in the tender process, and revised construction program is aimed for completion by February 2024. We have secured 30.02 ownership in the Fiji Airways on the 30th of June 2022. This acquisition perfectly complements our existing portfolio on the 7 hotels that the fund owns. In just a year, our investment in the airline is now valued at 168 million, representing a remarkable 80% increase from the initial acquisition cost of 93.1 million. Interest income for 2023 was 15.9 million compared to 13.3 million in 2022, an increase of 19.82%. Moving forward, the fund will remain committed to exploring further opportunity with Fiji Airways, with a primary focus on ensuring sustainable return for our member. For BSP Banking Group, we have acquired an additional 5,493,000 fully paid ordinary shares. We've also now the 4th largest shareholder, owing about 9.85% of the total share in BSP Group. Our objective remains unchanged as we embark for this financial year 2024. We will continue to craft retirement strategy that maximize saving and introduce policy that offer customized solution to our member. Our way forward, we are actively seeking opportunity to enhance the value we provide to our member. We collaborating with key stakeholders. We have laid the foundation for the 5-year strategic plan. An essential part of this plan is thoroughly the review of the Fnpf scheme design and government legislation of the Fnpf Act of 2011. We will continue to seek opportunity to maximize investment return for our member. We recently added to our portfolio the Garden City complex. We are also working closely with the regulator, the Reserve Bank of Fiji, to expand our offshore dealings to enable a more diversified investment approach. We are in the final stage of opening the pension center at my Fnpf center in Nandi. This center should open soon. Work will commence on our customer service center, also on my Fnpf center in Nandi. We are also working on a stakeholder partnership program. We are also grateful to the Ministry of Health, the Permanent Secretary, the Directors of Pharmaceutical Service for coming on board with our stakeholder partnership program through the registration of forum attendees for free medical initiative. Last year, in July, we reviewed the education assistance or withdrawal based on suggestion from you, our members, to include professional development courses to allow you or our member to pursue this course to improve your job prospect. We also, in the final stage for activating the laptop system, also under the education withdrawal ground. Our team are conducting the necessary update to our system, and we are in the process of identifying the few companies that will supply laptop to be part of our approved suppliers. I would like to take also this opportunity to acknowledge the support of our board and the hard work of our management and staff. We continue to craft a retirement strategy that maximize saving and introduce policies that offer customized solution for our members. We also extend an invitation to all Fiji citizens in the non-formal sector to join Fnpf and take advantage of our long-term savings scheme. We have a lot to be thankful for, and I'm grateful for the opportunity and the favorable circumstances that we have allowed us to thrive. We extend our appreciation to our members, employers, pensioners for your patience and trust. We apologize for any action or conduct that fell short of your expectation or professional standard. Our goal is to listen, act, and improve. We are open to receive all your feedbacks Again, thank you for being here today. Me and my team look forward to answering any questions that you have. Kanaka.
Vinaka Walevu, CEO, for the detailed presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, members, pensioners that are here, we've come to the time for our question and answer sessions. This is usually our members look forward to this session. We have 1 hour for this Q&A session, and you can ask the questions in Itoke or vernacular or whichever language that you are comfortable with. I now invite our panelists to please take their seat. Our CEO, our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Pravinesh Singh, and our General Manager, Member Services, Mr. Alipate Wangarawa. I invite them to take their seats, please. As they are taking their seats, if I might just outline some of the rules in relation to this Q&A session. As mentioned earlier, you can ask questions in vernacular. But we humbly ask that if you have a question, please raise your hand, and someone will bring a mic to you. And before you ask your question, we ask if you could please state your name and identify yourselves before asking your questions. Our members that are also online, you can ask questions on the comment section on the social media pages. We also have a mobile number there. If you are not comfortable asking your questions directly, you can send it via SMS there, and we will do our best to answer them. We have one other request. We humbly request that that if you are having some questions, please, if we can ask them respectfully, and we try and refrain from any things that might blow up. So let me introduce our panelists. As mentioned earlier, on my far left is our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Pravinesh Singh, our CEO, who had spoken earlier, and our General Manager, Member Services, Mr. Wangarawa, who is the executive responsible for all members and employees. So they are here today to answer your questions. So thank you. Perhaps before we start, we'll ask the questions I usually ask, and maybe we'll ask CEO and he can answer it perhaps both in English and in vernacular. CEO, a question that our members are always asking, is their funds safe?
Ia vinaka siti, na soma waka biti tau manta. Na lava musu ki se teki na tini kadia on saulu kaona. Se adawa ni kua, sa tumbu na I lavo se adawa nda rani tukuna na asset me 2.5 milioni. Lavo musu ki company institution ni financial lebu tondo na pono biti. Wana undolu na kana matai valu itu no undolu erna pensana. Dober da financial institution rawe lebu labo dondo. Ito obosa ci kombalata na maudi binaka na nito bingaravi na lawa embulia na parliamento na Fnpf ni rosang bulu tin kandua ko ba uda to nito Sanga ni kitor ni tawa kapitali ando na kai bau di bina katuna lawa ya na ito ni tu bingkarabi ka kitor ni sulia na ka kitor ni sulia. Kaya bagai endo taronga kaya bagai se rauni oba nunu na lo musuki e ora ni ba di ta ka tal ni kuwa rauni oba nunu na lo musuki. Yunaka.
CEO, for our non-Itoke speaking members, CEO has just reconfirmed that with the answer to is your fund safe, an absolute yes. It's protected both by law and the results prove that it is absolutely safe. We give this time to the floor. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and the mic will be brought to you.
Na boleh tu manda kimpi apa Filipina kena pukul tu muda cikurau, o manda lo binak kim rongat, kena pukul nonta ilau musuki. Itu saya jangan nataro.
Bosot orang kira tu kena ada muni.
Datang go inok kengarau, au pensiona, ia au sudah kata ciku, kena angau nunggu. Kau kilana nunggu contribution provident funds atau sagi. Ia usah retire na 55. Kau probably nak kena fund di rauni toso chico na contribution di fund. Dua sangat datang rombaleta na the current fund me bali jauh. $40,000. Liu and do nothing, but now we're paying that. Whether we can use that fund to withdraw and pay to TLTB. I mean the fund that we currently rebuild with Fnpf. Second, the business that we want to invest on. Can we draw a fund from the current fund to, say, for instance, pay off taxes and all that? Sonataro, kau kira, mata nangurungo ukila isindoro puno echekin na option melondre le mene lavungor. Obo kaya sa total withdrawal of that fund. Wasangai binakachimero ni bako matatek sedap roni yavokina. Wina wali.
Benaka Mr. Garau na nomini tar, I will nasong mandang awa vitiliu and then we can then sitting some of our walang for the benefit of those that are streaming live and those that are listening online. Na nomini tarom balata nasong mini we want the tanga wada areas balata na nomini lease.
Yeah, 99-year lease. Now you have the lease, but now you want to apply for 99-year lease, which you have to pay a month, about 40,000 to TLTB.
Okay.
Is that possible through Provident Fund?
If it's an acquisition of a property, around darong kami moron kami bitang lotamanda din na lisi magtakitu kero tondo release ta na funds me wolikin endo na technical. Iyo nakena somi nakena premium nakena na maintaining una ko lista kina kitondo do soma kedya. Iyo na lisi na viambaki quando lease annual lease payments esini soma na esani soma na bangi. Toto wata talanga wata ke na city rates wira na wa property. Se wira na tori loan may na duana bandua wata na housing authorities na public rental na nonra arrears. Kaya umaniti ko na kaya roni kito da kava se senikito. Yan ang ono mandangango misumi wando duno no monitaro. e sinaroni ki tu e sinaroni ni uturu mena no ni lava ko tungo me sumi ke nan dona lis areas.
Yeah, it's a one-time payment.
Okay.
I mean, the property was with Provident Fund. Once I'm 55, it was released to me.
Okay.
But on that 50-year lease. But now I want to extend that lease to 99-year lease. And with that 99-year lease, we need fund, a one-time payment to TLTB. Okay. Is that possible through Provident Fund?
Yeah. Me o tingo me te kitol ndoro na gai vital
okay,
no,
thank you.
O tingo ndoro na gai vital no, me na gai lura no, the background to that. Do tell na monitor.
The second one is purchasing of taxis.
Oh,
Can we, I mean, we have fund there. Can we purchase taxis through that fund?
Okay. And we used to have this facility before at the fund, and it was called the Small Equity Business Scheme, whereby members could apply a portion of their general account for any small businesses. But when it initially started, it was actually in conjunction with FDB. The loan was obtained from FDB for any business or whatever, and then your Fnpf was then used as the equity. So that was done. However, a review was done. When we reviewed the scheme, there was a lot of abuses and there was a lot of losses. And we stopped that in 2011. 2011, that was stopped. But as we've gone around the forums, there have been some submissions made about members wanting us to sort of relook at some allocation towards those kind of assistance that you are. But like any other organization, for us at Fnpf, we regularly review our products and the benefits that we give out. And that assistance, by the way, that I was referring to, which we had stopped, also allowed people to purchase shares in either ATH or something. That was also stopped. Because when we did a comparative analysis, if members had remained with the Fnpf and continued to invest that money in Fnpf, they would have had more return from their shares based on the dividends that they were paid. But so the short answer to your question at the moment, that's not allowed. There are only 5 grounds of withdrawals, which is housing, education, medical, unemployment, and funeral.
This is just referring to us after we've reached 55 and we continue working, which is, I mean, I know we used to enjoy that before 55, but this is after 55. Any possibility or?
Yeah, we note the suggestions made.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll probably have a discussions after this. And
just to add on, after these forums, we take your feedback and we work on it. And in the past forums, there came a suggestion, and we've reviewed, and we've opened the small accounts. So if you've got less than $10,000 in your account and you are over 50 years old, you can access your Fnpf savings at age 50 as well, provided you haven't worked for the last 3 years. So that could assist, if you have got plans to start a micro business.
In my case, I'm 68 and I'm still working and I'm still building my Provident Fund. Yeah. That's the question. I know under 55 we used to enjoy all these other things, but now you either withdraw or take the total amount off. Yeah. So we hope we can discuss it after. Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the floor?
Yung
pui. O sa pension tiko. Yo, ang bagitawachi, nang dona kwadra may korvia. But the pension, ni the cost of living, a lot of things I've done back. Pension down to nga. Ya, kaya kaya ni sa wakam daw ndo to na sindro talagang dakin doon kan bata sa biara lagi. Ya, wala ba ke? Wala alright. Ni kumamna pension na Fnpf kumsin ni ibakata kira na pension ni social welfare. Era nindo elenga, era ni pijike. Rin so di wana next of kin. Indo na 5,000. Wala ba kitungo ke rundo wibo sakita ka? Meron kito watang na ne pijike. Mato kimo sa ni mami tostingo ina mati. Yang ni mami sende quando satu na sa wakai lei cuma je wada. Ke ron indo na vitang no ando takam ne ron buke kiman. Ni mami mata bu valer na nek na bulachiko. Mena daki no ndai tambo. Bolto ke la kentongo itoki. Pero kan to jiko. Dia kan dona sangko weekenda. Dongan je kina baka de buna. Testing don kito no withdraw ta tal no ne law. Wer law ke kiman. Sakin ron buke ira na kan garat wad na ni mami. Me bata kira na social welfare no sul virtu no next of kin don 5,000. Kara buki na sangka. Kuana o kere bikim do ke ron don buki kito kina bi sakta betul mutendu. Tau kila na mantain tu tangai li butal ngana ila nonton na Fnpf. Asa tau ni bukair tau tingin na mantain tu medidi kina mantain tu. Kero na bukair kena mata kena wa anda kata kata tu ngai liu. Kero na social welfare tu ya cuma dah kata tu ada pasang tu kinto na rai lau. Ko kinto na kata kata kan tambah yang buat sini tu bunda na nimtal tu ngai sana kawai. Kau nak biar tukun.
So, Mr. Wandrawi, we give it to you. If you could translate it in English, I wasn't able to hear the question.
The question that was asked, una wanda tomdanga na nominitaro wa lagi meron ni rekila na warong tumai. This is a current pensioner, and the Fnpf pension is not indexed to inflation. What are other assistance that Fnpf can offer when you compare them with the social welfare recipients? Upon death, I think there's a special, there's a death, funeral death benefit that's payable to them to look after their funeral, which is covered by Fiji Care and Fiji Insurance. So the request is for us to consider a similar sort of package, if we can work together with government or relevant insurers to offer a similar assistance to Fnpf pensioners. So that's the question. We take on board the suggestions in terms of we know that our social welfare recipients have access to that arrangement with social welfare. We have what's called a working group that's been set up to liaise with government, because retirement is not the providence of or the responsibility of Fnpf alone. It's a whole of government approach in terms of government, other stakeholders, and including the Fnpf. So these are some of the things that that we can discuss, and we take on board the suggestions that that has been put forward today, and probably one of the items that we will include in terms of the discussion with government. Good luck.
There's another question that's come here online, and it's also in relation to pensioners. Given how well Fnpf is doing, can it help pensioners with medical care, especially for eyesight and dental?
Thank you, Siti. I think in today's forums, in this year's forums, we are partnering with relevant stakeholders, for example, the Ministry of Health. So these are some of the things that we are looking at in terms of. The Fnpf has also investments in Aspen Hospital, which is the private hospital that's run in Lautoka and Ba. So these are some of the things that we want to pass on. Discussions are currently underway with stakeholders to sort of see what we can do in terms of what are some of the benefits that that our members or our pensioners can access by leveraging of our investments into Aspen Hospital. And in fact, there are other investments in the medical care that the fund is considering. Probably the two gentlemen might want to add.
Marka, are there any other questions from the floor?
Naka eo lewani ndalai. Obia baka bilimina takachika na bibuke lewu ni Vinceni. Ambala busara mena ngau na o taratu meki na Vinceni go. Mani chini kadiwa, desa ul kadiwa. Ya, au ndonga na taro betaronga juga nadaba na yala ni Vinceni go. Maten taro ya. Kini karuanga ni taro. Bala tani abia tokona juga na taro juga na turanga ngai boso juga mala tani Vinceni. Bala tani satu buka bonua. Saya tali ndone buru ni labo. Ya na nugu Vinceni. Ya mata tabikem dau mata nembak kisa mbalau mai. Dura kila ya na buna ya ubia tokona kina mbala tana na Vinceni. Ono sana mati kena. Saya tali ndone bonua tali ero kune kini la meroni. Mata na Vinceni ku basa mai. Mbalau sari tika na kena bangatak. Ndu kila bila chiko. Kena lebu todo. Kena lebu saka.
So the question was, Mr. Ndara has been a pensioner since 1999. He's thankful for the pension. And the first question was, when does it end? Given that he's receiving his pension, what should its life with them? And what other assistance can be given to pensioners apart from what they're currently receiving? That's, we give it to Ku?
Probably I'll just answer it and then Ku can na penseni kwa na penseni kwa ni torna tin kadiwa de son kadiwa na baka tau tu ke baka o penseni ro ba betini se o kemninga ndondua ndondua okay binaka Kena bala ko na may ideng unang sana kesana mani kadibikin na mani nimbula. Ana lako tu na susumia me da basar na ngona sa kadibikin na mani nimbula. Na peniseni it's for life. Na nondam bula to dok. Bi ke mani bana warong ke bakandro so itu ke peniseni rorua ke simbula tu na maramawati sa mani kadibikoso na nondam bula ko indoverau. Ana tokita ki voi ko embulati ko me ada basara na nona mate ake vai pensini roro ya na nomni kis ni pensini ndondo ngona nga sana kadibikin na nomni bula sana da batala ngai ki ana pensini sa toro na karo ni taro na ki ana to bole me ke bana ngona ni sana sana mani kadina boso mai dake na da batala rebe ke da re ko to kwembega na kai ni taronga tiko ke va ndona ke va sana mani kadibi numbul na da batala na rauni da kabana Fnpf membala tana ken na bebu ke na ken garavina somat oteke na sa me baka ko ya ko sa tu tu ken dona ka ki toro ni ke vital notak oteke to na na tu tim oteke na moten tu oteke na company insurance kuarando kabata kana no matagal bibu kiwango.
So the answers to those queries are when does the pension payments end? It doesn't for the option that Mr. Mbanai has taken. It doesn't, and it only ends once. It doesn't end as long. It only ends once he's called to rest. And in terms of the other assistants, they will look into. They take on board the suggestions, and we will look into that. Is there another question here from the floor?
Hi, my name is Chandrika Prasad. I'm a pensioner. I am here to raise my queries. I have been going around with Fnpf, Ministry of Finance, and Social Welfare. I am one of those who was affected in the 2011 reduction in the pension from 15 to 9%. And in the last budget, it was announced those who were affected will be given certain amount of money from social welfare. Today, I am not receiving anything simply because they say, which I agree, I withdrew part of money to utilize for my children's education. But the question is, the budget says those who are affected will get, if you are over 70, 125. But to me, I'm not getting anything. Where do I stand?
Give it to Ku to address that. Thank you, Mr. Prasad, for the question.
Thank you, Mr. Prasad. It's very unfortunate that you were in this position, that you have to run around at the ministry and also come to Fnpf. I understand the Minister of Finance, Honorable Biman Prasad, made that announcement that whoever gets impacted, and there were no conditions attached when he made the announcement on 30th of June 2023. However, when we had started to roll out the assistance, please note the funds do not belong to Fnpf. The funds are given by the government. Hence, there were certain conditions also laid out by the ministry. And one of the conditions was that it will be only paid out to pensioners who had their pensions reduced. And in your case, rightfully, your pension reduced. But it was not the original sum that was reduced. At the time the reforms were done in 2011, I understand you had taken out some money as lump sum. And the net amount of pension that you did, that actually was reduced from the initial pension pre-2011. So those were the conditions that they had actually stated to Fnpf when we had started rolling out the assistance in December 2023. So people who had transited, they were also not paid out. Dependents of pensioners, they were also missed out. Pensioners who stay overseas, they also got missed out. So it's only the surviving pensioners and the joint spouses that are currently eligible for pension. Again, I think I'll talk to you after this. This is something that was put forward to Fnpf. It's not like a condition that we had put out. But we're still talking because we're receiving queries and complaints from pensioners. They're coming to us. And we will take this back to the ministry. But we will not make you run around. We'll give you a definite answer. I'll talk to you after this.
But I'm still not happy with your explanation.
I understand, sir.
In fact, when you look at it, I was affected.
Yes.
My rate was reduced from 15 to 9%. And when I actually went for my pension in the beginning, before this regime of 211, what I was going to get, that would have been enough money for me to make my living. But what I'm doing today is not even worth compared to the increase in cost of living. I'm sure the board members can now look at it and see myself now go through it.
Yeah. Noted, sir. We take the suggestion on board. I'll see you after this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Do we have any other questions from the floor?
Sabi na kanu kita binto kaingan deng gomu bukai binak kinawan poten pan. Kita ndra kaun kita. Au sabe men gono rosta ur karu nem bakin kuturi labutu. Rosta ur karu nem bakin kuturi labutu na problem. Umaru tago tu na kaya. Binak balik malio. Nang bakasal binak. Kera pinsai watin gumbui. Nang unugo kani sangat binak komplain bango. Iko nga batu numpu ngrai rau. Ila lubem saraka sarana tumera raka rau ila buelo. Ngor ka ngambel cikum rau bete numbui. Na ila ba mbel cikum ngap numbui. Ke ba kali betul cikum ke ba sagi. Yau manda bakati yau. Usa mal tak puan kumpul. Ko bin nak boleh na no gu bukan tutaka. Muni bakasala malwa. Ko tortugo ko bin nak ila boleh. Mbul marau. Sintra kau le. Le usando kango sali promote kamdo cipuna bikro kontungo. Raka wana kando mabakawa ngon cara wakina. Tara no wale. Tar kam mabakawa. Sini mai tara wale cuma wangati kila ban problem tuan. Ngoni la ban bugadeu. Sali kam tu nakor. Lebu sini pemuria. Racin cube no ngandai. Tali cinta cungo na pangar bango, bumangar bango. Ya usang ke pohon rebiru cu. Tapi bulunga ungai li funa mai. Ko buka bina kila wale bertambani la musuki. Nam tu baru takan tu kila bango. Babi nak wale malewa. Nang buka kasal takia buka binaka. Kau maru tahu cikgu nak kumpul nang orang nandai. Mati kau tu nu buka binak boleh sahabat orang kelio.
For the non-E2K language speaking members, the gentleman here has been a pensioner for 22 years, and he's grateful for the advice that he received, which he has implemented, and is now enjoying his retirement as a result of the advice that he received. Do you have any other questions from the floor? If we still think of questions, there's one that has come online and has been asked a few times. Well, there's one new one here. Can Fnpf pay the annual interest instead of Fnpf account directly to members' account? Perhaps we'll give the CEO an opportunity to think of that one.
Optor kam na sagin dur kay law. Ker ko mo ba binak boleh bunda ilabo. Beri labu tu kosumo kana tum tawawan. Tas mana ilabo ko no bola. So lu ko keri lo bon pertin ka panaga. Sini su nuku. Na boleh.
Just to answer the question, our objective, FNPF objective is stated in the FNPF Act, which is section 2, which state accumulation sufficient saving during your working life that you have sufficient income when you finish work. That's the intention. So it will run contrary to that definition if you start paying interest to member every year, because the intention is accumulation. So when you are working and you earning interest, it has to be accumulated to enable us to achieve the intention of the Act, which is sufficient income on retirement.
CEO, thank you for clarifying that. Any other questions from the floor? Then I'll ask this one that's also being asked. Would Fnpf be able to increase the funeral assistance above $2,000 because it's not enough? This member has adequate balance in the general account. Maybe we ask GMS to answer that, please.
Nakasit. Let me probably start by answering it this way. The funeral assistant is supposed to, so prior to 55, you get a special death benefit. So all members at the Fnpf, there's a special death benefit fund. There's a separate special death benefit fund. So in the event that someone dies before the age of 55, he or she will be paid 7,500, because every year when interest is paid, after the interest is paid on the 30th of June, the very next entry that goes in is the $35 deduction, which is to cover you in the event you pass away during that year. So for example, if you have a balance of $100 after interest, $35 is deducted, $65 is in your balance. If you pass away within that year, within that 12-month period, Fnpf will add another 8,500 into your account. So your balance becomes 8,535. So Fnpf pays that special death benefit for in the event of your passing away. So there's also a requirement that you fill in what's called a memorandum of administration, whereby you provide for your own, you nominate someone that will look after your burial and your funeral expenses. So within 24 to 48 hours, on your death and on your application, when we establish that there's an MOA, for example, your money goes to your brother, that $2,000 out of that 8,500 will be released to you to carry out your funeral. So the message that we want to give out to members is, please, if you haven't filled in your memorandum of administration, we would like to encourage you to fill in the memorandum of administration, because at the end of the day, you'll be financing your own funeral. So the question about the funeral, the cost being too low, we understand that, but the answer that we normally give out is the funeral is supposed to, what we give out is supposed to start the funeral. And then all the relatives and whatnot will put in to fund the rest of the, we're just releasing that money to fund, to start or pay part of the expenses of the funeral, not the full funeral expenses. But however, given the suggestions that are made today, particularly in terms of what's available with our social welfare recipients, so there's probably something that we'll need to look after and tie it up with other insurance providers to see what we can do. But we would like to encourage all members that are here, please, if you haven't filled in your memorandum of administration, fill it in, because that will help to fund for your own funeral expenses. That's another one form. But I think another form that we would like for members to fill in is the memorandum of nomination. In the event something happens to you, who shall receive your money? If you don't nominate the person that you want to receive your money, the sad part of it is somebody else will determine who gets your money. That will be the High Court. So I would encourage all members that are listening here, all those that are present here, please go and file in your nominations. Some of you started work, you've now raised a family, you've now gotten married, you haven't changed your nomination. The fact that you are married nullifies that nomination. So if something happens to you, that money will then have to go to the High Court. And then you guys can understand the delay that's happening. In the meantime, your surviving spouse in your family needs to continue to living. So there's going to be a whole delay. So if there's anything that I would like to encourage you that are here today, please file in your nominations, because it's important to file in your nominations. Because in the Fnpf Act, whatever is in the nomination, whoever is in your nominee will receive whatever you've nominated for them to receive. So it's important to update your nominations.
Mr. Wankarawai, is that question from Mr. Prasad.
Are the pensioners also entitled for special death benefits, sir?
No, you are not entitled to special death benefit. As soon as you trigger an option, the special death benefit ends there in terms of the current scheme. There's a review of the special death benefit that's currently ongoing. So hopefully when that is announced, we will then come back to the public. But as it stands now, as soon as you the current scheme stands, as soon as you reach 55 or make an option, that stops.
Another question I want to raise is the special death benefit. Does it apply to the voluntary members as well? Because if you retire and then you reapply to be a voluntary member, are you entitled for that special death benefit?
No. Once you have the nomination, you make your option to retire, that ceases. But for voluntary members some are voluntary members that haven't reached 55, because the lowest age that you can enter is 54. For younger members that are voluntary members, of course, special death benefit applies to them, but subject to sufficient monies, or the $35 is deducted from their account.
Are there any other questions from the floor?
Excuse me. What I'm wanting to know is that
can we get your name, please, sir?
Okay. Oh, my name is Sairusi Takasara, former APCWIC employee, and I'm getting this pension scheme from Fnpf. What I'm trying to get is that my pension scheme that I've been getting, all of a sudden, in the middle of the year, they deduct half of my pension scheme that I've been getting. That's from something like $900. It drops down to $430, almost half. So if only I can be sort of can be to understand why is that sudden decrease of my pension scheme. That's all that I wanted to know. Thanks.
Will you get who?
Yeah. Sorry, just a clarification. Is the pension reduced recently or sometime back?
My pension scheme, I've been getting it from since I retired in something like, and all of a sudden, in the middle of that, and they just sort of cut off my thing in half. So I went to Nausori office here trying to find out what's happening. And then I couldn't get the right answer to satisfy my question.
Okay, thank you, sir. I believe your pension would have been reduced in 2012 when we undertook the pension reform. There's some rationale as to why we had done what we did back in 2011. Simply said, the main pillar that we had to address was the sustainability of Fnpf. First of all, we need to understand what is the contribution of Fnpf in the Fijian economy. It is the largest financial institution and it looks after the welfare of a number of Fijians. So we had to save the fund. If we had not done the reform in 2011, by 2056, Fnpf would have been no more. So to ensure that the fund survived for people, for members then and for future generation, we had undertook the pension reform in 2011. I understand, sir, there may have been, aspirations, your dreams. You must have worked out your retirement based on the $900 that you would have been getting. But all of a sudden in 2012, you realized that your pension had been reduced to $430.
Right.
In fact, before we did the reduction, we had come out to all the members informing them about the pension reduction. Basically, why we did it, if I can answer that, the fund was not able to sustain all the pension that was paid to nearly 10,000 pensioners in 2012. So the amount of pension money that had been allocated when, sir, you retired and you had put your money in pension that came through the conversion plus the 2-cent pension buffer reserve, and then over the years we had actually paid you more than what you had put in. So if you are using more than what you have, it's not a good situation to be in. If I'm earning $100 and I'm spending $120, that means I'm basically out of money. I have to borrow. The fund cannot borrow. So back in 2011, we only had one fund. So on one side, money was coming in from members who were contributing, and then there were pensioners. So the pensioners who had been paid over and above the pension amount they had initially allocated. For example, in your case, when did you start pension, sir? 1999. So if 1999 is the year started, that year pension conversion factor was 15%. And if you work out how many years you can use your principal on the 15%, it's 6.25 years. So basically, if you round it off, in 6 years, sir, your contribution, your annuity would have been used up based on the principal that you had put in. So from 1999 to 2005, at 15%, the money would have finished. From 2005 to all the way to 2024, that's 19 years. 19 years, Fnpf members would have had to use their money to pay your annuity. That's not a very sustainable model because you were not the only pensioner. We had 10,000 pensioners. And some of the pensioners had taken 5-6 times their principal sum. So we were on a very unsustainable model. So there were reports from ILO, World Bank that suggested that we need to reduce the conversion factor of the pensioners. Otherwise, there would be no more Fnpf. So that's why the pension rates were reduced and you would have seen a reduction in your monthly annuity.
Cool. Are there any questions from the floor? There's a question from the gentleman here, please.
Thank you. My name is Chovesa, and I'm a current member, been a member for 21 years. My question is there a possibility that the fund can also comes up with a product, just like a drawdown account, like taking into account the death mortality rate at a very young age currently, like in 40s, and you can have conditions as well on that particular product. Is there a possibility? Since we have been a member and then we have adequate amount, sufficient amount there in the fund. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chovesa. I think the question, perhaps for you, Ku, is there's a DDA fund for those that are retiring, but can the fund looking into a similar product for suggesting 40s because they have sufficient balance as well, and such a product might be something they could look into.
Thank you. I think it's a good suggestion. And, it depends on when you want to retire. That's how you plan your retirement. I guess, that's a suggestion. We'll take it on board and we'll take it back to our management and we'll deliberate on it and we'll come back.
I think just to add on that, now the main thing is the stats right now is they take into account the death rate, death mortality rate at a very young age, in this age bracket, 40s and 45. So if that the fund can consider that. Thank you.
Just probably to enlighten, I've mentioned about the current review of the special death benefit scheme. Because previously, before the reforms, there was only one fund. Now there are 3 funds that are running in the fund. It's a retirement income fund, which looks after pensioners, the retirement income fund with the separate assets. You've got the special death benefit fund, which look after the special death benefit scheme, and you've got the Fnpf fund. So each is so there's transparency in terms of all these funds. So there's a full disclosure and transparency on how these funds are performing. But I've mentioned the fact that there's a current review that we are currently doing on the special death benefit scheme, whereby we are looking at a sliding scale for our pensions, whereby when you die at a younger age, you get a higher sum. So that's the sliding, because you are at the height of your earning capacity. So when you are, in fact, that's currently, our actuaries are actually, they've come to us and we are working on that at the moment. So that is something that will sort of meet the mortality rates that are currently being experienced in Fiji, where people are dying young. We notice that members are dying young, so we need to also review the special death benefit scheme. When the changes are made, consultations will be made, and then public announcements will be made. But that's something that we've been actively doing for the last, in terms of our discussions in the last. In fact, our actuaries are actually encouraging us to get that across the line at the moment. But we'll make the relevant announcements when we come to it.
I guess your question is, can we offer the drawdown product at age 45 or 40? 40s. Yeah. If I understand, yeah, that's the question. See, the retirement age in Fiji is 55 and now pushed to 60. But Fnpf has maintained the entitlement age at 55. So, yeah, unless there is a change in the retirement age or entitlement age that will happen through a legislative amendment, then that could be possible. Otherwise, offering a retirement product at age 40 might not be something that is on the plate at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you for that answer. On another scenario is that because we've got sufficient money there, because we know the funds offer the best interest out of all the other financial institutions, right? If we can offer, since Mr. Wangarawai just mentioned on the beneficiary part and all those things, we can avoid all these as well, just going through to the High Court and then not to decide on whoever to pay when this happens to the young members like us. So this can relook at the fund, so it's the best way, because for us, members, we know the fund is the best way to invest. So we are requesting that if that can come down to that age bracket.
Probably just to, maybe timely to sort of advise all those that are listening, all the members. Now, the best way to, the Fnpf was set up for savings, as our CEO had mentioned. It's to enable workers to save for their retirement, and probably the second important one is for you to have a post-retirement income. So that are the two major objectives of the fund. So I would like to encourage everybody that's listening, or those of us here that have our children and grandchildren, is to encourage our children and to save more with the fund. There's no better place to invest than the Fiji National Provident Fund. You increase your contributions. Those that are workers out here, the best way to save is just to increase the contributions that you can make to the fund. Don't underestimate the $5, the $10, $15 that you additionally increase every pay, because that tends amounts to a lot. So if those that are here, if those that are currently working, and those that have children, we've got, you can open accounts for your children for as young as 6 years old. May I suggest that if you are desiring to give a gift to your children, there's no better gift than opening an account from 6 years old. So when you open an account from 6 years old, they get the same interest that's credited. By looking at the accumulation of their funds, they are also inculcated in this culture of savings. So for all the workers out there and those that are listening, now I would encourage you to advise your children or your grandchildren or your siblings. There's no better way to save than to put your money at Fnpf. By simple comparison, you look at today's papers, Fiji Times, you look at 1 year term deposit. That comes out daily. The financial institution that pays the highest is paying 2.5%. Fnpf paid you 7% and has been paying 6.5%. So there's no better place to serve than basically for you to save at Fnpf. And I would like to encourage all of you to pass this message on to your children, to your colleagues. And we've got a member education advocacy team. There are retirement tools available in the calculator, which in our website that you can play with to see if you increase your contributions by $5, $10, or 1% or 2%, what will that accumulate when you reach 55? There are tools there that enable you to help you with forecasting or projecting your retirement income. So I would like to encourage everyone to advise your children or to advise your colleagues. We believe that there's no better place to save than to put your money at Fnpf by the interest rate that we pay you. Last year we declared 6%, and over the last 6 years, you'd have seen from the slide, we've already paid over $2 billion in interest over the last 6 years to all members of the Fnpf.
Mr. Wangarawai, I believe we have time for 2 more questions.
Veunga o be ba mina ba leo bi kundo ni liu na batanon da Fnpf o kila ni o tuninga no wa sikil mai na parlamento wile se walu billion non dai lao o sa diu 9.5 non dai lao o ba bina kini bi kimuni o nindo se tunga sa be ta tau baletani chumai ba yao o sa ba bina kini ba de to na.
Question at the back there, right at the corner, if we could take the mic there, please. And perhaps while the mic is being taken there, there's a question that's been asked here online, perhaps for Mr. Wangarawai. Semester 1 is about to start soon. Can we use our Fnpf funds to buy a laptop now?
Naka City, I think that's something that, as the CEO had alluded to in his presentation, that was something that came out from members' forums. The team is currently working on it. In fact, those of you that were reading the papers, we've been aligning our systems, and we're now just trying to finalize the suppliers. We've put out expressions of interest for those that will supply the laptops. As soon as that is finalized, we will then make the relevant announcement in terms of when can members access to purchase a laptop. Now we are in the digital. We understand that we are in the online age, the digital environment. So when we do make the announcements, hopefully before the end of this financial year, we we should make the relevant announcements.
Mr. Mangrawai?
Ya. Imula malaga manonga. Ndo mbangana ka ubento pati kona ka taro tukuni rango. Nangunongo na somu ke ni bosela ko tume bikin mundo na tamba di bagalesi bikin mundo na bili tuni bagalesi. Ya so pati ngana 55. Yo me bakana tiguni non tu bosa. Ni tuguna kena taban ni tu me ko le weekend tu kizaki. Salah ko tiguna kali tiguni kalau nimbula na bingon. Da singkila kali tiguna covid ya kali tiguna kalau. Kombe ka ngaya na mbaki wasta ngabulu. Lebu na tambangone na mbaki ngo. Kima misa mati ko susarti ngabe na mbaki ngo. Sembera mandangan niya so tiguna 55. O kitu be utar mo timbangan na ilabo ko tigun tiga. Kaya kana mata sendo numuni tetapi ngo tiguna talo kimdo boleh selesi. Na causa ke na mati belewai. Ya do tala prosi jembala butale na muri. Sini do na bono rauni do reza. Meroni salang ngana ngone ya. Kue tigu tala bena member ni kani nonto Fnpf. Doni labo me lago bena na tambagin bulan. Dia ni siang bagi mon. Ngo sa do kutia bagi do na 55. Na dapat tingan yang bagi. Kero ni do semua wari mai na suni taro. Ni yang bagi ni ngone sar kali biti ngono go. Nak sabali.
Nak taro bina kana ni taro. Kaya dua na member ng unang goya mati ang baki dava. Sember niya dava ng baki 5 kalima. Kaya mati na ang baki 5 ono, 5 bitu siya 5 walu. E natangka tali dake na nona ilawe wolo ndolo 5 raw. Ayan a special death benefit premium. Kaya balbali. O kenda keda na member ni Fnpf. May na ang baki dava kaya sa musungan na numu ilawe ya. Wa Italia na ang baki dava matikina. Na tanggaran na tamata nila musugi na numilabo ko sa waso kumuna tu wol no ndolo 5 raw. Sa rani to rambeka.
Wala baka. Karong gutarong wala ba keseng tu na indon na nomination. E wala tu indon na kana sebe indon na nilabo. Na labo baka ando ni tukunan na causa kita lebih mati belo mengali soli mikina bi bandun taki ya nangono tau ya bukin na mo memba wati kikem do iko nga oyaw nakanga ya buni nungu tardu doa na labo nangono nga ilang ka kinangonya sini walong do lungori kono ni labo kele ko votigo dono ko tanga mati belo endo na soli na bubali berarti ko na matangali na toko na abuso. Untuk kuda lagi tal malam ore itu na pe apa nama lo mani malah tiga ko saban de tiga mai mendari de bina tiga na ilabu tiga pen Fnpf da singkilati ko nambal na Fnpf kira ni baka mata tambangan minit itu.
Mr. Mama, perhaps if I can translate the question and query into English. So the query, panels and members, is in relation to apart from 55, can we look at other avenues where members might be able to withdraw their funds earlier, especially in the 40s, given that there's a high mortality rate there, at other avenues of withdrawing their funds earlier?
Klam sana semua mendangan bikin na itarong sa semua ko ako wasa toka rota ka na member ka ni tamate andundua. Na member kan ni tamate andundua. Siya ni kan ni toka ya busa siya matanggal. Nona na tamate andundua. Kaya balambale na biba kasal tal kitundo ta ka chube kenta na member ko sa tukunit ko rona ka medak. Matai walewena na nomu form ni baka tutu. News na nomination form. Kaya dona lenga do biko o de na toro no milaw. Me matate ana non rita bi kede na memba ya. Kitu sa baka biba ka salte kitiko. Kenda kede na memba ni dada tiko menda walewena en dua mano ba lewena form o de mo baka tutu ta me toro no milaw ke sama ni dona lenga do biko. Me ka ko nganiado na matabilewai. Kani karua ko ni karua ni form ko tu ni chiko. O de me ngaraba no musomate se vimbulu. May nailaba na 8 5 raw ko na botaya niya Ronondo, sana tiki di koe na sou mai na loma ni tini ka baba ki na rosa vul ka na ua. Ve koe ngarava num somate. Kena bala ke tormanda ke vai sa tukuna na tadimuni langa na tadimuni volatu na muni. Me ngarava na somate. Na ela na solive ke muni me ngarava ki na somate a. No Ronondo. Me tego bute ki na somate. Na woni onondo lima nan rau sana ngai tomani tale no account dan ngai levi votaki me vata na form ni watu tu de vina kata wati na baka sorto na tadina se luana me tora na ila wa kene balle na itavi bimbi e tsugo ve kenda na mbemba menda yan rava na kena vale weni na form ruorongo baleta ke vaka esenga na ngai le sotava na ndrendre o ira na woni bulutiko enak
So the response to that question, can the fund look for other ways instead of sending the funds to High Court and make it easier for the member's family? The answer is absolutely. Fill in the nomination form and the memorandum of understanding, and those are it will quicken the process, and it will not go to High Court if you do that.
Total magna kanyi wo suti usaru lemba kono go taro. Boleh tembaka, warna besar tembaka, ke wari mandangan eunum ni takatu indua, ne labo nunggu labo dona su etiko nan dingin beki mundo dona wangon lekina, sen dona kota ngaben matweloi.
Na lawa tuku na meke to kota na matweloi. Kembali sana kay no na itabi na kamuni ko embula marna lay lodge tak na non ra marna kay lay bitang o bata kirto na matabilaway sana kay may na matabilaway sana kay to na kinabindabinday so libe wana kay embula to na wati na se na kay botay wati na sana kay siguro to na luben na kesa ni wati to no to tumtum sana kay lay no na matabilaway balatan takilawa binang na ngono santo lang kay kinendo don lewu na kena roni vim bataki ya sanga ele no to itavi na matavila wai marto na gai walia na tikina o de me soliwa na no na ilaw
malaka wali
nak
Thank you, panelists. And that brings us to the end of the forum today. Thank you all our members who are here, our pensioners, as well as those that are on. Please do give a hand to our panelists for answering your questions. Thank you. We've come to the end of the session, and I would like to thank a few people. Firstly, our friends from the Fiji Association of the Deaf for the interpretation today. To the wonderful landowners here at Nausori Village for this wonderful venue, Boss Communications and SPR for comms, and the Ministry of Health, who are outside as well, and you might see them after this. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That now concludes the forum. We ask that you please complete the feedback forms. They are really helpful to us to improve every year. And once you've finished completing the form, you can take it to the back there. You will receive a gift pack and as well as some refreshments. We also have the Ministry of Health that's there at the back. They, you can register with them for these free medicine program. They can explain it to you they will explain it to you. It's a free medicine program where you can access medicine at private pharmacies if they're not available at government pharmacies. So please do register with them. I will encourage you at the back. Thank you again for joining us tonight, and tomorrow we will be at GPH at 5:30. And we hope to see you again next year.